Title: The Billionaire's Secret: Why You Must Stop Relying on a Job and Create Your Own Future. Introduction. When I talk about the need to find our own path and harness our own resources, many people respond by saying, that's just not possible for everyone. They believe not everyone can be independent. Not everyone is cut out to be an entrepreneur. And you know, what's truly strange is that the path they've chosen for themselves doesn't make sense. Relying solely on traditional job hunting, simply because they think they have no other choice, has become a norm. But that mindset is risky. Very risky. Why? Because depending on just one source of income, especially in today's fast-changing world, is a gamble that might not pay off. If we take a step back and look at the world around us, it's clear the world is changing. Jobs once considered secure and stable are now disappearing. And those jobs that still exist? Many no longer offer a wage that can sustain a comfortable or decent life. This, my friends, is not just concerning. It's alarming. It's a wake-up call, and people everywhere are starting to feel it. That's why more and more people are beginning to search for alternatives, ways to supplement their income and secure their financial futures. Perhaps you've been there too, feeling the pinch, looking for ways to break free from the traditional system. Today, almost 30% of the global workforce is self-employed. That's a huge number, and it's not just about the numbers, it's about what this shift represents. What's remarkable is how much faster and easier it is to start a business today than it was 20, even 10 years ago. With the power of technology and the internet, you can reach customers in ways that were once unimaginable. You can start a business from your home, using your laptop, and within hours you could be connected to potential customers all over the world. The barriers have been removed. But here's the hard truth. No one gets rich by working for someone else. That's something you need to understand once and for all. As long as you're working for someone else, you're trading time for money. An employee, for example, earns by the hour, by their time. It's like renting out your mind and energy for a few hours a day. And since your time is finite, your earnings are limited. When your time runs out, so do your chances of earning more money. The employee trap. Let's take a moment to really think about that. When you work for someone else, your entire livelihood depends on a single paycheck, a single source of income. That paycheck is tied to the hours you put in, and there are only so many hours in a day. Even if you're the hardest working, most dedicated employee in your company, your income is always going to be capped by the time you have available. And what happens if you lose that job? What if the company downsizes or worse, goes bankrupt? Suddenly that single source of income vanishes, and you're left with nothing. Now, I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying it to open your eyes. It's important to recognize the inherent risk in this system, the fragility of relying on one employer for your entire financial security. That's the rat race, my friends. It's a never-ending cycle of working harder and harder just to stay afloat, without ever truly gaining financial freedom. And the only way to escape this trap is to change the way you think about income. What I'm suggesting is simple, but incredibly powerful. Stop thinking in terms of time and start thinking in terms of results. The people who make serious money aren't the ones working 9-to-5 jobs. They're the ones building something of their own. They're working on their own projects, managing their own time, and most importantly, they're getting paid for the results they produce, not the hours they work. This shift in mindset, from time to results, is the key to breaking free from the limitations of traditional employment. The power of entrepreneurship. Let's talk about entrepreneurship. You've probably heard the word thrown around a lot lately, but what does it really mean? At its core, entrepreneurship is about taking control of your financial destiny. It's about creating something from nothing, about building a business or a product that generates income independent of your time. And yes, it's true. Creating a successful business takes time. It takes effort. It might take months or even years to see the kind of profits you dream about. But the difference is that when you're working on your own business, you're building something that can grow beyond the limits of your time. Think about it this way. As an entrepreneur, you can scale your efforts. When you're working for someone else, your income is tied directly to the hours you work. But when you're running your own business, You can create systems, hire employees, automate processes, all of which allow you to generate income without being directly involved every minute of every day. This is how wealth is built. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. It's about creating a system that works for you, even when you're not actively working. Building a profitable business does take time though, and that's something a lot of people overlook. In our society today, we're used to instant gratification. We want results now, success now, money now. But real success, lasting success, takes patience. It might take years before you see significant profits from your business, and in some cases, it might take decades. But here's the thing, even if your business isn't profitable right away, it still has value. The long-term value of business. This is a crucial point that many people miss. When you're building a business, especially in the early stages, it's not just about the immediate profits. The true value of your business lies in the future profits it will generate. Take PayPal, for example. When the company was just starting out in 2001, it wasn't making any profit. In fact, it was losing money. But when the value of PayPal was calculated, it wasn't based on the profits they were making at that moment. It was based on the profits they were expected to make over the next 10 years. That's where the real value of a business comes from. The future, not the present. So, when you're building your business, you need to take the long view. You need to prepare for the long-term battle. Success doesn't happen overnight, and anyone who tells you otherwise is selling you a fantasy. Building a business is hard work, but it's also one of the most rewarding things you can do. Because once your business reaches the point where it's generating profit, that income is no longer tied to your time. It's scalable. It's limitless. Execution over ideas. Here's another critical lesson. Ideas alone won't make you successful. You might have the most brilliant game-changing idea in the world, but if you don't act on it, it's worthless. Execution is everything. We live in a world where ideas are cheap. Everyone has them. But what separates successful entrepreneurs from the rest is their ability to take those ideas and turn them into reality. Let's look at Steve Jobs and Apple. Jobs didn't just have a great idea, he had a vision, and he had the determination to execute that vision. When he returned to Apple in 1997, the company was struggling. It was on the verge of collapse. But Jobs didn't just focus on the short-term problems. He had a long-term plan, a vision for where he wanted to take the company. In 2001, he launched the iPod. At the time, many analysts and economists dismissed it as just another tech gadget, something that wouldn't make much of an impact. But what they didn't see was Jobs' bigger plan. The iPod was just the beginning. It was a stepping stone to the iPhone and the iPad, devices that would revolutionize the tech industry and make Apple the most valuable company in the world. The lesson here is simple. It's not enough to have a great idea. You need to have the vision and the persistence to execute that idea, to see it through to completion. And sometimes that takes years. But the rewards, in the end, are worth it. Creating your own opportunities. This brings me to one of the most important pieces of advice I can give you. If opportunities don't come to you, you need to create your own opportunities. This is something successful people understand deeply. They don't sit around waiting for the perfect job or the perfect moment. They go out and make things happen. They create their own luck. Think about it. The future isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you create. Every decision you make, every action you take is shaping your future. And right now, in this moment, there are more opportunities available to you than at any other point in human history. The rise of the internet, the explosion of technology, the accessibility of global markets, these are tools that didn't exist a generation ago. You have the power to reach millions of people with the click of a button. You have the ability to start a business from your living room to sell products to customers on the other side of the world. So why are so many people still struggling? Why is there still unemployment, poverty, financial insecurity? The answer, I believe, lies in a fundamental misunderstanding of what work really is. We've been conditioned to believe that work means having a job, preferably a stable, traditional 9-to-5 job. But that's not the reality anymore. There is plenty of work to be done in the world, but the jobs as we used to know them are becoming less and less relevant. Unemployment, in my view, is not a problem of there being no work to do. It's a problem of vision. People don't see the opportunities in front of them because they're looking for jobs in the traditional sense. But the world doesn't work like that anymore. Conclusion. I want you to remember something crucial. The future isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create. It's not just about having big dreams. It's about taking action. We've talked about the power of entrepreneurship, the importance of taking control of your financial future, and the necessity of shifting your mindset from trading time for money to focusing on results. You now understand that relying on a single job in today's world is risky, and that creating multiple streams of income through your own business or projects is not only possible but essential. Don't be afraid of failure, don't be afraid of taking risks, and above all, don't be afraid to put your ideas into action. You have the power to create the life you've always dreamed of. If this video has inspired you, take that first step today. Don't wait for the perfect moment because it doesn't exist. The perfect moment is now. Comment below with "I create my own future," so I know you've been paying attention and are ready to take charge. Also, if you've watched this far, I know you're serious about making a change in your life, so make sure to subscribe to the channel